Oh man, LilBJessup back on 2 wheels. That's right. Boy, it's LilBJessup scooter. Now I know you're wondering, I didn't get it for the coolness factor. It is pretty cool. This is a 2005 Yamaha Majesty 400. It's a single cylinder, dual overhead cam, CVT, automatic, little scooter. But the reason I got it is you can just hop on it and go. With my job, I have to be somewhat professional, and driving a Geo in swamp in this kind of weather right now is, you know, it's very hot, and sweat stains aren't professional. So this will get me to the office in style. Not only does it have storage up here for everything you could ever, like, look at it. That's my arm. My arm is in there. That's a glove box. And on this side, same thing. Storage. You need to get under the seat? Well, no more lingering around trying to get that. You just take a key, pop, open. Look at all that room. Hello, hello back there. Hello. So much room, in fact, that I have hauled a 3-foot roll of landscaping fabric under this seat. Yep. And the seat shut too. You can fit 2 full-size helmets in here. And the way I use it is I shove my work backpack and lunchbox in here, shut her down, and off to work I go. And it's fuel injected. You ready for this? It just fires up and it purrs. Now, I do need to work on it. As you can tell, there's some noise going on back here. Got big old lights on it. Nice bright headlights. The thing's a unit, and I got it for very cheap. But we're going to do some modifications to it to make it even more of a road killing machine. This thing gets about 60. I got 65 miles per gallon on the last fill up. So it's very good on gas. It's got a little 3-gallon tank up under here. And I don't care about leaving it outside because it's a scooter. I bought a GV windscreen on it to put on. The GV is a little bit bigger. It's got some hand guards and whatnot. And I'll be honest, 4th of July weekend, I was riding this with flip-flops, half helmet, and all my beer runs. So it's nice. But we're going to get that front off and swap out the windscreen, see how we're looking. And with the front valence piece knocked off, gives us access to these screws, which allows us to do the first modification of the scooter. And we're going from this windscreen to this one. So a little story about this bike is the previous owner passed away, and it's set for the past 4 or 5 years. And you can definitely tell it's been sitting. The tires are worn, the air filters are dirty, and that belt. The drive belt doesn't look terrible, but it's definitely starting to have some cracks in between it, which is time to replace. So that's a little pricey, but it'll give us a good allowing to, like, inspect everything while we're in there. So I've got to wait on some parts now, but it'll be okay. Well, it's been some time. Got some parts. It's currently 2:25 in the morning. I work night shift, so I'm off tonight. Work today tonight, whatever that means. So I got some time tonight before I go to bed. The reason I haven't worked too much or made a video is it's been so dang hot. I did install an exhaust fan up there in the garage, and that's been doing pretty well. I wired it to the switch over here, which you can just mess with the speed. So that's pulling some of the heat out of the upper atmosphere of my garage. But I've got all my parts now for this here Scooty Scoot. Got new tires, they're Shinkos. This thing takes 3 air filters, mind you. Goofy. I did go ahead and buy a new drive belt because this one's been sitting. Got new fork seals, fork oil, brake pads, you name it, I've got it. All the maintenance items to keep this thing running. First thing I'm gonna do is throw the drive belt on, start putting all the covers and air filters back on. Then to get the wheel off, I gotta pull the muffler off, swap that tire out, and get brake pads while I'm at it, and make sure the parking brake is adjusted. So it's a lot, but we're gonna get it. Maybe I can get all this done before sunrise and then go to bed. So this is how this thing works. It's just a belt on some torque converter like style things, and it spins and got a little pulley. Pretty neat. From what I'm seeing, everything looks okay, but then again, I've never messed with a scooter before. I mean, it's discolored and yeah, there's some like pieces missing, like right there's a little chip missing. Other than that, it's not a bad looking belt from what I can tell. Definitely was sitting. A couple pieces there. But yeah, I'm gonna trust this one. This is a OEM belt. I don't know what this one is. Can't even say. I'll keep it for a spare. Throw this one on, call it good. That's this side buttoned up, looking good. That's old filter, not looking so hot. Lots of crap coming out of it, dirt. So that'll last miles. Got a new filter on this cover. Got to slap that on, put this piece back on, this piece, and then go to the other side, pull apart the brake caliper, and swap that tire out for my Shinko. Back to looking like a blob. Now this is a dirty blob. I'm gonna do an old car dealership trick. Take yourself some silicone spray and just give that plastic some nice new shine after we hit it with a rag. There we are. Look how new that looks versus dusty. New. Taking a little 3:30 a.m. break. It's crazy the amount of bugs in here. I'm sure you can hear that cricket over there and whatever this little demon is, and big old June bugs flying around. It's a lot of bugs in here. A lot more than there are during the daytime. And it is just darkness outside. Yep, having a nice cold blue moon. Gonna pull off that muffler to get to that rear wheel, to get that wheel out. Swap that tire, change brake pads, and change the finer air filter on that side. So I got this side all pulled apart. Had to pull off half the swing arm, and missing the parking brake nut. And if you look at that brake in there, the piston is well all the way out, and that's not just one, that's both brake pads. There is no meat on them. They're done. Glad I got new ones. We're gonna pull off this wheel, swap this tire to my Shinko, and be good to go. Bald and old. Throw some new grease on there, clean up this wheel, and get this puppy swapped out. This thing's light though. A little bit of degreaser and brand new tire, and that is a good looking wheel right there. Me on the other hand, I'm quite sweaty. Someone turned the humidity on, so it's a little toasty in here now. And the sun is not up. It's probably, I don't know, it's supposed to be like 100 and something today, so it definitely didn't get below 90 tonight. So it's just thick. The things you see at 5 in the morning. Who's that under there? Oh. Poor little fella. Get off there. Oh no. Scurry away. Anyways, look at these brake pads. That's mint. You could slice bread with these things. Ooh. Maximum usage on that one. Is there any pad left? Yep, just a little bit. You can see it. Well, I was prying on the old caliper and sheared that thing off. This piston is like beyond stuck out. I took the bleeder out and I still couldn't get it in, and just snapped the ear off my little pry bar or tool right here. Snapped it off. So that's cool. Looks like I reached a stopping point for the day. Yep, time to order a part and go to bed because the sun's starting to come up. Got it cleaned up, shower. Well, gotta go shower, go to bed, get ready for work. Yeah, I'm gonna order a part though, then I'll be ready for bed. I'll see y'all in a little bit. Yeah, another humid day. I got some used parts in from the eBay. Guys, I'm an idiot. I never had a caliper like this. So you put something in these little prongs and it just screws in. Righty tighty, it goes on in, and that's how the caliper works. That one was probably fine. Goodness gracious. Alrighty, finally got rear brakes. Had to bleed them. I got the parking brake working too, so the rear is good. Now it's time to do fork seals, front tire, and front brakes. Hopefully I don't break this caliper. That's gonna be fun. So you can see that the forks here, this side is super wet. It's because this fork right here is leaking. It's wet. This one's doing okay, but we're gonna do both, because if I did this one and didn't do that one would blow immediately. So we'll get these off and clean them up. So I'm pulling apart this fork seal, and I've never seen a fork seal come apart this bad. The metal spring that holds the seal together is out of the actual seal itself. This thing was shot. It does seal. I pried it does seal up, and that was the only thing I've pried, and it's bad. You know, it's a good thing that this bike rides so well. It is a pain to work on. So the forks, you have to take the fork cap off to get the fork come out, and then you've got to compress the spring to put the fork back in, and then somehow tighten the cap on while simultaneously compressing the spring, all in this little tiny area, which my hands don't fit. Luckily, Casey can compress the spring and tighten the cap at the same time. So I'm gonna get Casey to do this one that way, and then at nighttime, if I gotta work tomorrow, I will swap the tire and do the brakes and change the oil, and this thing will be ready to go. But yeah, I can't get the fork tightened because my hands don't fit up there. So I'm back again, another night, working on the Scooty Scoot, and I've got to do one fork, front tire, front brakes, change the oil, and then I'm done. See, this side doesn't look as bad, but it still has a lot of like just meh on the end of the bolt. The problem isn't compressing the fork spring to screw this on. It's trying to do it up under here. That's the real problem. Holy smokes, I got it the first try actually. That's, well, this side has the glove box that I just shoved it under. I guess this side has the same thing. Well, it's a little taller, but that held it in place, then just grunted and did it. So with the forks being finished, I'm now going to put the brake pads on, and the front pads are just as bad as the rear. Well, they have a little bit more life. You can see there, just barely any meat left on them. But this caliper can be pushed back together the typical method with just a C-clamp, squeeze it back, put the new pads on, and absolutely send it. After that, we'll swap out that tire, change the oil, and the Scooty Scoot will be back to Scooty Scoot. Just got the old tire off, about to slap the new one on, stab it back under there, and we'll be back on the ground, ready to fire up and get that oil nice and warm. So now the tires are replaced, it's back on the ground. I'm gonna do the oil change. I just reset the belt trip odometer. You just do that by unplugging a little relay. So now, they're my change belt. Now, light isn't on. We're gonna fire this puppy up. Let her warm up and we'll change the oil. And of course, the oil drain plug bolt is rounded off. Nice. It's gonna be a minute. And that just shows that there's more than one way to skin a cat. Your boy's resourceful and very cheap. Scooters. You know, you never want to see like a big chunk of metal stuck on a filter. That's a pretty beefy piece right there. Luckily the oil here doesn't have a metallic sheen, so I think we're fine. The last little bit of fluid I'm going to change is this rear diff fluid. It's probably never been done. Oh, it's actually pretty clean. Yeah, I wonder where these came from. And with all this maintenance being done, I'm going to clean up all my tools. As you can tell, this place is an absolute disaster. Wipe the scooter down with some slick, make it look good, and go to bed. You know, I've never vacuumed a motorcycle before, and here I am at 4 AM vacuuming a motorcycle. It's kind of weird, but look at the trunk, nice and clean. Using some SC1 and some silicone, I got this thing all dolled up. Can't even tell it has 25,000 miles on it. Beautiful. Beautiful. Now we just need to ride her. We got new brakes, new tires, fresh oil changes, all new air filters, new drive belt, fork seals. This thing should be mint, and it looks amazing. Even got the garage cleaned back up. So I drove the scooter to work last night, and it did okay on the way there, but on the way back it gave me some trouble. As in, it started revving up real high, making a horrendous noise coming from the variator and not maintaining speed. I'm gonna start it real quick so you can hear that sound. I don't think it's supposed to sound like that. So we're going to pull the cover back off and see what's in there. Well, I found the problem. It looks like the nut on the front variator pulley fell off. It just goes here. And that pulley is well loose and it's been scratching the clutch cover. That's nice. Gonna need a new one of those. So everything in here looks okay. But this pulley face has definitely gotten eaten up in the... I don't know if it jumped off the splines or what. I took out the front of this pulley cover, which holds it true. So we're going to need a new one of these, and a new one of those. Gosh. So this time I have the belt way down in this pulley. I'm talking. She is in there in order to get this thing to fit right. Because I think I didn't have the belt on right. And that gives me a lot of room for wiggling. This is trash, and this is trash. And then there were two. Gotta love eBay. Should be able to get this thing back together, no problem now. Alright, it's back together with the new parts. I can move the regulator, or I can move the variator fan without it hitting the case, which is good. But I'm gonna fire it up and rev it up to see if anything happens. I should have done that last time. We'll just rode it around the yard. No issues, no weird noises. So tomorrow we get it inspected. We're good to go. Inspection time. Nice morning ride. Well, we did it. We passed inspection. We made it to the water. Scooter works great. Very happy with this thing. We're back on 2 wheels. Hope you guys enjoyed my struggle, and I'll see you in another video. Glad it's done.